Hi everyone, and welcome to DinMo, the Composable CDP. The idea of this video is to show you how you can set up DinMo and your first marketing use case in less than 6 minutes. For this example, I'm going to demonstrate how to exclude recent buyers from media campaigns to optimize your budget. The idea is that we won't be retargeting people who have just made a purchase on Google Ads because we don't expect them to buy again so soon. There are 3 setup steps and a final activation step. The first 3 steps must be done only once by your team. The first step is to connect your data source. There are a lot of different options. It could be Snowflake, BigQuery, Databricks, etc. For my demo, I'm choosing BigQuery. I'll enter some technical information that allows DinMo to communicate with this source. I provide the technical details and give a name to my source. Then, I can generate some small code snippets that can be run in my technical environment. These scripts are used to grant DinMo read access to the relevant data. This configuration is done just once by the data team and is very simple to set up. DinMo will then verify the connection by checking that it can read the data in the data warehouse. Once that's done, I can move on to the second step, which is also done by the data team, building the data model. So I go to the data model creation step. To understand what a data model is, it's essentially a way of simplifying what's in the data warehouse so that DinMo can understand the data. The idea is that composable CDPs have a very flexible data model. There's no need to rework your data. You can create user models, event models, or custom models. In this case, I'll make a simple model for an e-commerce business, a model with users or customers who are linked to events, in particular transactions or purchases. I'll start by selecting the table that contains all my customer data. I get a preview of all the data and choose the information I'm interested in. Here I'm selecting everything by default. However, I could remove certain fields or rename them to make them easier to work with later. I also need to provide key configuration details such as the primary key, which uniquely identifies each customer in the dataset. Next, I'll follow a similar process to create the transactional model. I create a new event model and select the table that contains all the transaction data, meaning all the order lines. I create this model, once again selecting everything. Give it a name, these are my orders, and provide DinMo with a few technical details. This setup is also handled by the technical team. Then I can link my orders table to my customer table by saying that one customer can place multiple orders. Once this is done, the model is complete. My data model is now ready and can be used as is by any marketing team. Next, there's a final setup phase, typically handled by a marketing team, connecting to a destination. I'll use Google Ads, but I could have used any marketing destination, any DSP, CRM, etc. to send data. Once I've given DinMo access to my Google Ads account, I can choose how I want to send the data. By default, CDPs usually offer audience exports, but with DinMo, we can also send online or offline conversions, adjust conversion values, and so on. In this case, I want to send an audience, specifically people who have made a purchase in the last 30 days. I specify to which ad account the data should be sent. The last important thing to configure for the destination is to tell Google how to interpret the data I'm sending. I tell it that the data is consented, and I specify that the field DinMo calls email is the same field Google Ads expects as email. I also choose to send the data regularly, every day at midnight, to ensure that the audience remains up to date with the latest purchase data. Now, the setup is complete. The final thing I need to do is create my audience and send it to Google Ads. To do this, I create the audience by adding conditions on my customers. In this case, I do not want to filter customers. I only want to add a condition on their orders. So I filter the orders and add a condition on the order date. I want it to be within the last 30 days. I can preview the data. Here I see I only have 506 people out of 10,000, which is fine. So I create this segment and give it a name, for example, last 30 days purchases. Then I can activate this segment. This means I will send the segment to Google Ads for immediate use. Here, I click on Google Ads Export Audiences, and then on Activate, so the segment is sent directly to Google Ads. The audience is now being sent. It will be sent immediately for the first time. I can see the job is running. After that, it will refresh every day at midnight as I configured. And that's it. To sum up, in this video, we've seen how to set up DinMo and launch your first omnichannel exclusion use case, all in under 6 minutes. We connected the data source and the Google Ads destination, and we defined the data model, which only needs to be done once. Then, we created a segment for our first use case. Feel free to subscribe to the DinMo channel to discover more features and use cases. See you soon.